every programming language mainly consists of two things. That means if you want to develop a project, we are always, most of the time, we are always using two programming elements. We can say like this: every project consists of two things. Every project consists of two things mainly. What are those two things? Information and operation. Information and operations. For example, let me take one banking application. Let me take one banking application. What banking application consists? Two things. What are those? What are those? Information and operation. Information and operation. What is the meaning of information? Account holder name is the information. Account number is the information. Okay. PIN number is the information. Balance, IFSC code, account holder, contact details like phone number, address, these are the things. Rate of interest. So all these things comes under what? All these things comes under information. Every project consists of two things. One is the information, and the other one is operation. So on top of the informations only, we are performing operations. On top of the information only, we are performing operation. For example, whenever we withdraw, otherwise, whenever we send money through Google Pay for one number to another number, we are using the phone number. So you are using phone number to send money from one account to another account. So in the meanwhile of money transformation, what happened? We are using the phone number. After that, we are using some code. In online transaction, what happened? We are using bank name, bank IFSC code also. And whenever we sending the money like 1,000 rupees from one account to another account, then automatically the balance is going to update it. So we can perform operations always on top of information. Information is useful for always performing some operation. Deposit is one operation. Withdraw is one operation. Withdraw is one operation. Balance inquiry is one operation. Balance inquiry is one operation. Another one is PIN number change. PIN number change is one operation. So deposit, withdraw, balance inquiry, PIN number change, money transfer. Okay, all these things, mini statement, all these things comes under what? Operation. Each and every project consists of mainly two things. One is the information, and the other one is operation. Okay. Do you have anything else? Do you have anything else in the project? No, na? Mainly these two only. Na? For example, Amazon application. Amazon.in application. Yeah. Amazon.in application. In the Amazon.in application, what we have? Okay, let me open that website once. Yes, Amazon.in. The Amazon.in, it's showing like, for example, I'm clicking on Set operation. First one is what here? Set operation. Good. Next one is mobile name is the information. 8 GB RAM is the information. Okay. Cost is the information. Got it or not? Okay. If you are purchasing the mobile through HDFC bank cards, 3,000 rupees reduce. 3,000 rupees is what information. HDFC bank is what your bank name. It's an information. What can we do with this information? We can able to perform some operation like booking the product, adding product to cart, cancel the products. Okay. And selecting required branded options. Okay. Selecting is one operation. Selecting the range within the operation. Selecting the product within some range, that is also one type of operation. So cancel the product, booking the product, searching the product, invoice, okay, and bill generation, all these, adding the product to the cart, all these things comes under what? Operations. Product name, product price, okay, bank, again bank details already we discussed. Product model, number of products, quantity of product. So all these things comes under what? Information. Every process consists of two things. One is the information, and the one is operation. If you take application like banking, these are the what exactly information, and what about the right side part? That is what exactly operations. Got it or not? So in the Amazon, yes, same thing. For example, if you take IRCTC application, in the IRCTC application, what happened? Train number, train name, seat number, okay, lower or upper or middle. After that, the boarding station, from where you are boarding, from where you are departing, to where you are arriving, at what time you are departing, at what time you are arriving. All these are what? Information. All these are what? Information. What about the operation? Cancel the ticket, booking the ticket, PNR status, train status, any other special services. All these things comes under what? Bill generation. The IRCT is also bill generation is, got it or not? So every project consists of two things. One is the information, and the one is operation. One is the information, and the one is operation. Got it or not? Now observe guys carefully. Here the very important thing is how to represent information programmatically. How to perform operations programmatically. So we are the Java learners. We have a different programming elements. So mainly to perform, to work with the information, to work with the operation. Mainly to work with the information and to work with the operations, we have two programming elements. What are those two programming elements? One is a variable, and the one is what? A method. To work with the information, we have a concept like a variable concept. To work with the operations, or to perform the operations, we have a concept like a method. So here, what type of concepts are using? Variables concept. Variables are useful to work with. Variables are useful to interacting with the project information. Yes. Generally, if you want to perform the operation, either if you take C language, C++, .NET, Python, Scala, whatever the programming language you take, method is the concept. Methods are useful to perform operations. Methods are useful to perform operations. Project related operations. So especially in Java, we have some other programming elements also. but mainly methods concept. 90% of the code, 90% of the code we are writing within the methods. But we have other concept also. What is that? Constructors. Another one is blocks concept. Another one is blocks concept. So there are the three concepts which we have. There are the three concepts. There are the three concepts which we have in. There are the three concepts which we have in Java programming language to perform operations. To perform operations. I hope you understand this point. I hope you understand this point. Every process of consists of two things. One is the information and the one is the operation. Whatever the project you take, whatever the project you take. For example, Gmail. Gmail consists of what? Account number, password, okay, and label names. So these are the information. What about the operations? What about the operations? Inbox, compose, send. All these are what? Delete, set, drafting. All these are what? Operations. So to work with the information, we required variables, and to work with the information, we required to work with the operations, we required methods, constructors, and blocks. And mainly what we required? Methods concept. Got it? So this is the introduction point of our project. Now observe, guys. Observe here. See, if you want to interacting with the information, first we have to store. I want to make a call. Repeatedly, I want to make a call to my students. So what I'm doing, I'm first storing my student contact number, my student contact number in my mobile. I'm storing. Got the point or not? So in the same manner, if you want to interacting with the information, first we have to store it. First we have to store it. So if you want to store, we required memory. If you want to store, we require memory. I want to watch one video, guys. I want to watch one video. For example, to my YouTube channel purpose, I created some videos. Will you please observe? I created some videos. Videos on logical programming. Now, before uploading these videos, I want to use some video cutters, and I want to edit my video. So if you want to edit my video, first I want to store this video in my hard disk. I want to store this video in my hard disk. So what a hard disk will do? Hard disk will provide. For example, right clicking on that video and click on that. Then my hard disk provide how much MB here? 17.7 MB space provided. For my video, my hard disk provided some space. In the same manner, if you want to store information, definitely what we require, guys? Memory required. Who is going to provide the memory? We are the Java learners, or we are the Java developers, upcoming Java developers. So directly I'm going to use the word like memory management always taken care by JVM. Memory management always taken care by JVM. Got the point or not? Now, how much memory do you require? That is the important point. Do you require 1 byte of memory? Or do you require 2 bytes of memory? Or do you require 8 bytes of memory? Or do you require 100 bytes of memory? How JVM can understand how much memory our information required exactly? Got the point or not? So how much memory? How much memory provided by the JVM? Yes, that is, we have to inform. As a developer, as a programmer, we have to inform to JVM how much memory do we really require for our information. How can we give that information? Data type concept. Slowly I'm introducing programming related information, guys. Data type. Data type always talks with JVM. Data type always talks with the JVM to provide some memory. JVM to provide memory for our project information. Memory for our project information. Okay, now please observe. Observe, guys. So we have a different types of data types. We'll discuss. Don't worry. First, I have one data type. For example, byte is my data type. What is that? Byte is one data type. This will asking to JVM. This will telling to the JVM, please give me 8 bits of memory. Please tell me 8 bits of memory. Or you can say 1 byte of memory. 1 byte of memory. Each and every information at machine level will be stored in the form of bits format. In the form of zeros and ones format. In the form of zeros and ones format. In the form of bits format. The format of what here? Bits format. Yeah. Now observe, guys. Carefully observe. For example, I want to send 10 rupees. I want to send 10 rupees from my account to another account. So first the 10 rupees must and should be, for the 10 rupees we have to give the space at machine level or programmatic level. But 10 is not understood by the electronic devices. So we have to converting into what? Electronic pulses in the form of what? On and off. Those we are calling as zero. Those we are representing with 0 and 1. Got it or not? So to hold the 0 we require some space. To hold the 1 we require some space. To hold the bits, to hold the zeros and ones on and off signal, we require some space. That space we are technically calling as bit. Bit is the smallest memory location to hold one single electronic pulse. To hold one electronic pulse. For example, our input is 10. Our input is 10. So is 10 directly understood by the machine? No, we should converting into 10 is what? Decimal format. Our own understandable format. This format is not understood by what? Machine. Machine require what? Binary format. Simply we can say binary number system. Then how it will be converting into binary number system? In my demonstrations, I told you, if you want to converting decimal number system to binary number system, we are dividing with 2. We are dividing with 2. What is this? 2 5s are 10. 2 5s are 10. Okay, and the remainder is 0. And again, we are dividing. Again, we are dividing with 2, and we will get 2 2s are 4. Remainder is 1. And again, we are dividing with 2. 2 1s are 2. 2 1s are 2, and remainder is 0. Got the point or not? Remainder is 0. Okay, now initial our value is 10. Now this is the decimal number system format. Now what happened? The decimal system format we are converting into binary format. So we have to travel from bottom to top. Nothing but 1 0 1 0. We have to travel from bottom to top. Like this. Left to right. Left to right. After that, bottom to top. Bottom to top. Where the point on? So 1 0 1 0. Don't travel from right to left or top to bottom. Okay, remember that point. Got it or not? So if you want to give any information to the machine, we are always giving the information in the form of zeros and ones combinations. Zeros and ones combinations. Got it or not? Okay, now carefully observe, guys. Now to hold this 1 is 1 electronic pulse, like on, 0 is off, 1 is on, 0 is off. So everything will be understood with the machine in the form of signals, in the form of pulses, in the form of on and off only. On and off. The representation purpose we are using ones and zeros. Got it or not? So to hold this electronic pulse like either on or off, we require what here? Memory. That memory we are calling as bit. So how many like that? How many bits given by the byte given by the JVM by seeing the byte data type? Only 8 bits. Nothing but 1 byte of memory. 1 byte of memory. Got the point or not? Here you have to observe very carefully, guys. You have to observe very carefully. So please concentrate here. So whenever we writing like a byte, then JVM suddenly, okay, you want only 1 byte of information, then JVM is going to provide. JVM is going to provide 1 byte of information. Yes, sorry, 1 byte of memory. Sorry to use the word like information. 1 byte of memory. That memory contains, that memory consists of, the memory consists of how many bits? 8 bits. How many bits? 8 bits. Got it or not? So that means if you want to store the data, if you want to work with the information, definitely what we required? Come on guys, definitely what we required? Memory required. Who is going to provide the memory? JVM. How JVM will provide the memory? By seeing data type. In your previous classes, you guys learn like a data type means type of data. That point also we'll discuss, don't worry. Okay. Lot of points we are going to discuss about type of data. Based on the data type, JVM will perform operations. Based on data type, JVM will provide some outputs. Based on the data type, JVM will provide memory. And based on data type, JVM can recognize one type of value to another type of value. So everything is doing by the JVM by seeing the data type. We'll discuss. Don't worry. So byte will talks with the JVM. JVM will provide the memory. How much memory it will provide? 1 byte of memory. Okay, in this 1 byte of memory, what happen, guys? Our data will be stored. In this 1 byte of memory, our data will be stored. So all the left side bits are filled with the zeros. So total how many bits are there? 8 bits. So these are filled with the zeros, 4 bits, and the remaining are what? 1 0 1 0 1 0. Got the point or not? 1 0 1 0. Now this is one memory. For example, I have one more value like a 20. 1 0 1 0 0. So that will be stored in the one memory. Then how can we differentiate one memory to another memory? How can we differentiate one memory to another memory? For example, if you want to send one wedding card to your friend who is located in Hyderabad from what? Bombay. Now, if you want to send the visiting, what we can call wedding card, first we recognize the address of that house, your friend's house. Without address, can we able to send? No. So don't say wording like calling, WhatsApp call, Gmail. Not like that. I'm just talking concept wise. If you want to send one card, for example, you open one bank account, BOI Amirpet Hyderabad, and for open the account, you guys are giving your current location. Then automatically what happen? Current address or permanent address. Then automatically bank people will send some documents to your home na. So without having address by the bank people, how they are going to send? That means here my point is only one thing. See the clarity of subject. If you want to interacting with the information, first that information must and should be stored in the memory. So we have a lot of memories. Then how can we differentiate one memory to another memory? With the help of address. Can we able to recognize the address? No. Then what is the alternative? The alternative name is what here? Nicknames. The alternative name is what here? Nicknames. That nickname is nothing but your variable name, nickname, alias name, whatever the word you want to use, you can use it. That nickname is nothing but alias name. Your alias name I'm taking like what here? A. So a int byte a equal to 10 means byte will talks with the JVM, JVM will provide the memory, and that memory is pointed by variable. That memory is pointed by variable. In that memory, 10 will be placed in the form of binary format. In the form of binary format. This is what exactly internal. Now get the clarity. Byte a equal to 10 means what is the meaning of this statement? Byte is a data type. It is always communicate or talks with the JVM about the memory. By seeing the byte data type, JVM will provide what? 1 byte of memory, nothing but 8 bits of memory. Okay, 8 bits of memory. That memory is pointed by one name. That memory we are representing with the name. That name is what here? A, and equal to 10. For example, in our mobile, lot of contact numbers we have, lot of phone numbers we have. Then how can we differentiate one phone number to another phone number? You guys are not directly storing the phone number. Na? That phone number you are going to store with the help of another name. Na? What is the use of that another name to differentiating one phone number to another phone number? Here, to differentiating the one phone number to another phone number, you are using the name of the candidate or name of the contact. Okay, but here to differentiating the one memory to another memory, what we are using, we are also using the here also name. That name we are technically calling as variable. Got the point or not? So what is a variable? See, first I talk like project consists of two things. One is the information and the one is operation. So details related to the project. For example, it is a banking application, account holder name, account number, PIN number, balance. All these comes under what? Information. To perform some work, what we require? Operations. What are those operation? Deposit, withdrawal, bank inquiry, balance inquiry, PIN number. All these are what? Operations. To working with the operations, what we required? Methods concept. To working with the information, what we required? Variables concept. Then why variable? Then why variable? So if you want to, for example, account holder name, I want to store it, or balance, I want to store it. So if you want to store, what we required? Memory required. Who is providing the memory? JVM. How JVM providing the memory? By seeing the data type. So by seeing the data type, JVM will provide the memory, and that memory contains some address. To differentiate one address to another address, or one memory to another memory, we should aware about the address of that memory. But we don't know what is the address of that memory. Then alternative is what? Nicknames or alias names. Those nicknames or alias names we are technically calling as variable. So here we can say like, what is a variable? Variable is a named memory location. Named memory location. What is the meaning of named memory location? Named memory location is nothing but name for a memory. Name for a memory. That's enough. Named memory location is nothing but name for a memory. Got it or not? Name for a memory. Now, then how many ways can we see? Byte A equal to 10. Equal operator means storing, placing, assigning, initializing. Lot of word you can use it. Assigning, storing, placing, initializing, or simply normal English terminology giving. So 10 we are giving to variable A. That means in that memory we are storing, 10 value. In that memory we are storing value like 10. Got it? Then how many ways can we able to store it? Sir, is this only one approach to store our project information into the memory? Is this only one approach to store our project information into that memory? No, lot of approaches we have. Then what are those lot of approaches? We have lot of approaches. Then what are those lot of approaches? That is the point we have to discuss here. That is the point we have to discuss here. I hope you understand what I'm telling. Okay, now let us start. How many ways can we able to assign the value to variable in Java? How many ways can we store the value into the memory in Java? So that is a very important. The concept name is how many ways can we able to store project information in memory. How many ways can we able to store? How many ways can we able to store project information into memory? So we have a different approaches. What is the first approach? Approach number one is assign value to variable directly. Don't worry, we have a programmatic approach. Wait for a few minutes. Assign value to variable Assign value to variable with the help of another variable. With the help of another variable. And third one is assign value to variable with the help of expression. With the help of expression. Okay. Passing. Another one is passing value to method argument. Passing value to method arguments or parameters. And next one is fifth one is assign value to variable. Assign value to variable. Okay, value to variable with the help of method return type. Value to variable with the help of method return type. With the help of method return type. Yes. And next one. What is the next one? Assign the value to variable. Assign the value to variable with the help of explicit casting. With the help of explicit casting. Okay. Assign the value to variable. Assign the value to variable with the help of auto unboxing. Auto unboxing. So these are the different approaches. These are the different approaches we have to store to work with the project information. Okay, to work with the project information. Simply you can say we have a different approaches to give the value to variable. We have a different approaches to give the value to variable, or we have a different approaches to work with the project information, or we have a different approaches to store project information into the memory. So that is depend upon our terminology. Whatever the terminology, what you can use it. Okay. Now already we seen the first approach. What is the first approach? Assigning value to variable with the help of command. Directly. Directly means we are giving the value directly. We are assigning the value directly. 1 second. Yeah. So directly project information we are storing. Assigning 10. Byte A equal to 10. 10 we are placed into the A. This is called assignment. So this is the first approach, guys. This is what your first approach. This is the first approach. Assigning value to variable directly. This is the first approach. Then what is the second approach? The second approach is here I am taking being. Yeah, second approach is with the help of another variable. For example, I have one variable byte b1 equal to 20. I hope you aware about the meaning of this sentence. Byte b1 equal to 20. Okay. So byte will talks with whom? JVM. JVM will provides what? Memory. That memory is pointed by b1. In that b1 what happened? Come on. In that b1 20 will be stored. Sir, already we seen this approach. Yes, we seen. This is the first approach only. Who will give the memory? Who will give the memory to us? JVM. By seeing data type like byte. Got it or not? Now in this memory, what happened? 20 will be stored. In this memory, 20 will be stored. Good. Now, carefully observe, yes. What is the second approach? This is the first approach only. Directly value we are giving. Now the second approach is instead of value, we are taking help of another variable. For example, byte b2 equal to b1. See, whatever the approaches I'm telling, all these 7 approaches repeatedly using in entire core Java, in entire project. So the working with the variable means what? These 7 approaches only mainly. So please be conscious. while listening the classes. Okay. Now byte B2 equal to B1. Byte B2 equal to B1. What is the meaning of this? Already you are aware about. Already you are aware about this one. Byte will talks with whom? JVM. Byte will talks with the JVM. Okay. JVM will provides memory. JVM will provides what? Memory. In that memory, so most of the people having confusion like BT is also B2 equal to B1 means most of the people thinks like BT is also communicating with the B1. BT is also communicating with the B1. That is absolutely wrong. That is absolutely wrong. B2 is not communicating with the B1 memory. B2 having their own memory. B2 will get own memory. That in that memory, what happened? B1 memory is not placed. In that memory, B1 value will be placed. What is the B1 value? 20. 20 will be placed here. 20 will be placed here. B1 value will place here. So don't be confused. Don't be confused. B2 is not communicating with the B1 memory. The meaning of this line is very very simple. We are storing B1 value into B2. We are storing B1 value into B2. The meaning of this statement is not pointing to B1 memory. The meaning of this statement is B1 value stored into B2. B2 having their own memory, a separate memory. Here note is B1 and B2. Here B1 and B2 having their own memories. So how can we believe whether they are having own memories or not? So at this point we are going to see programmatically once I'm starting. Otherwise, I'm going to show you once, but you don't know the programming. That's why I'm not highlighting program here. Anyhow, this concept we are going to see in our coming classes. Otherwise, proof purpose, let me show you once. So here I'm taking one notepad. See, our intention is not a Java program at right now. Our intention is B1, B2 having their own memories or not. There is a class like a test, and there is a main method, static public void main, string dot dot dot. Yes. Okay. Now here I'm writing some code like byte B1 equal to 10 and byte B2 equal to B1. Sir, how can we believe whether B1 and B2 having their separate memory or not? Very simple, guys. Observe system.out.println. Now here I'm printing B1 value. Just concentrate. B1 value. After that, I'm printing B2 value. Let's see. B2 value. Now let me save this program. Test.java. Where I'm going to save in core Java folder. Yeah, test.java. Let me go to that folder. Open that. See, this is coding. We'll see individually. Don't worry. I'm not teaching coding concept here. I'm just highlighting T1, T2 having their own memory. Sorry. What are the variable I taken here? B1, B2 having their own memory or not? Yeah. Java C test start. Now here, what is that? The spelling mistake string. Good. Typing mistake. Now, okay. Now finally I'm trying to execute the program. What is that? Java test. B1, B2 got here. So B1 value already assigned in the B2. Now, yes, I told you like according to diagram, I told you like B1 having separate memory, B2 having separate memory. If really B2 pointing to B1, what happened, See, now I'm changing the value of B2. Sorry, now I'm changing the value of B1. Okay, if really B2 also pointing to If really B2 also pointing to B1, then B2 value also going to change. Once B1 value change, B2 also going to change, but not change. B2 value is not changed. See, clear the screen. Java test, but B2 value not change. What is the meaning of that? B2 having their separate memory or not? Yes. Now some other proof. B2 I am B2 value I am changed. So 234. B2 value I changed as a 234. Now again I printed. Again I printed. Now observe guys, if both are pointing to same memory, if both are pointing to same memory, definitely B1 value changed or not? Yes. B1 value is going to change. Byte value is I'm giving more range. Let me take like a 111. Yeah. Now Java C test.java and Java test. Now observe guys, only B2 changed, but not B1. So what is the meaning of that? Having their own memories or common memory? Yes, they are having their own memories. Don't be confused. But in Java, some other approaches also there, pointing to both. Sometimes some variables are pointing to same memory also. But those variables we are calling as reference variable. That is a purely wording related to Java. Once I'm talking about the coding related to Java concept, there I'm highlighting. But at right now, you have to remember only this point. What is that? Whenever we writing like byte B2 equal to B1, whenever we writing like byte B2 equal to B1, the meaning of that line is B2 is not pointing to B1 memory. B2 is pointing to B1 value. What is the value? 20. That means we are copying B1 value into B2 memory. B1 and B2 having their own memories, separate memories. This is the second approach. This is the second approach. Now, let's go to third approach. Let's go to third approach. What is the third approach? See, every approach we are going to use in every program. Every day, every program means whatever the programs we are going to develop in our coming classes regularly. Every day we are using any 2-3 approaches. Among these 7 approaches, every day we are going to use any one of the 2-3 approaches. So please concentrate. It's a very useful class. Now, one more. What is that one more? Third approach. Third approach. What is the third approach? Int a equal to 10. Good. Some other data type. Okay, you don't know what is int. So you know only byte. Byte a equal to 10. Byte b equal to 20. Okay. Now int c equal to a plus b. So lot of reasons are there why I'm taking int c. That is Java coding. Don't analyze why Ramchandra taking here int type. We'll discuss. So generally, what is the point here? A will get JV will provide the memory for A, and also giving the memory for B. JV will provide the memory for A. JV will provide the memory for B. Okay, and also JV will provide the memory for C. JV will provide the memory for A. JV will provide the memory for B, and also JV will provide the memory for C itself. Got it? So A, B, C having their own memories. Now, will you please observe here what we are doing? This is the first approach only, assigning the value directly. Assigning the value directly. And second statement is also comes under first approach. What is that? Assigning value 20 directly I place. Now, third one is, what is this? A plus B. A plus B is what? Expression. What is this? It is an expression. It is a expression. A plus B. So A value replaced with what? 10. So A variable replaced with the 10. B variable replaced with the 20. 10 plus 20 is nothing but what? 30. 10 plus 20 is nothing but what, guys? 30. So A is having their own memory, B is having their own memory, and C is having their own memories. C is having their own memories. So please be concentrated, guys. Every day we are using this coding. If you want to travel with me throughout entire core Java, you must and should be aware about each and every syntax. Each and every syntax. Okay, what we discuss in today's session here, what exactly project consists. Every project consists of two things. Every project consists of two things. What is the first one? What is the first one? Information. Another one is operation. So example I told you, like what is the banking information? Account number, account holder name, and PIN number, IFSC code, balance, what is that? Address of the customer, and rate of interest. All these things comes under information. And operation: deposit, withdraw, balance inquiry, PIN number change, mini statement, money transfer. So these are comes under what? Operations. Operations always we are performing on top of information. So how can we deals? How can we work with the information programmatically with the concept like a variable? Then how can we work with them? How can we perform operation? How can we perform operation means by writing logics. Then where we can write the logics? Where we can write the logics? We have three programming elements in Java. One is a method, another one is what? Constructor, and third one is a block. But 90% of the code we are always writing within the method. Okay, this is the basic information. Then how to store and how to work with the project information with the help of variables. Then how to work with the variable. What is variable? Variable is what? It's a named memory location. It is a named memory location. Got it or not? How it is going to stored in the form of bit by bit. So bit by bit, who will provide these bits? JVM. How it will provide? By seeing the data type. So data types always talks with the JVM about memory. That memory is always in the form of bit by bit. Whatever the input we are giving, that input we are converting into binary format. And now if you want to differentiate one memory to another memory, one address to another address, one memory to another memory, we require addresses, but we don't know the memory address. Then we have a alias names, nicknames. That nicknames, alias names, technically calling as variable name. So variable is a named memory location, nothing but name for the memory. Then how many ways can we able to assign the value to variable? So there are totally 3 ways. So totally 7 ways. Totally 7 ways. What are those 7 ways? First one is directly we are giving the value. Directly we are giving the value. Second one is with the help of another variable. B1. Here I'm not writing value. We are writing variable name. So what is the meaning of this coding? We are not communicating. We are not pointing to the B1 memory. We are just holding the B1 value. That's enough. So here B1 and B2. This is a very important point, guys. B1, B2 having their own memories. Sometimes common memories also we'll see in coming class. Not right now. Don't be confused. I don't want to make you confused right now. And the third approach is what, guys? And the third approach is what? Expression. And we have some other approaches also. One is what? Passing value to method argument, assigning the value to variable with the help of method return type. These are also very, 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 very important, guys. All these approaches are important. Every program, if you want to develop any small program also, minimum 5 approaches we are going to use.